Hello, ladies and gentle ladies. Welcome back to another Industria development stream. I was about to do something. What was I about to do? Oh, yes. 1 second. So, yes, we're back with Industria. And today we're going to be doing some work again on conveyors, because that's what I've been doing the past couple days. Let me quickly announce in Discord that we are live. All right. That is the Discord announcement done. So yes, we're going to be doing conveyors today. Let's quickly open the game and I'll show you where we're at. And then we'll move on from there. One thing I do need to do actually is run data gen. And then we need to reload those resources because we should have a couple changes in the models. Not massive changes, to be clear, but there should be some changes. So we'll just let that build. Lovely. And then we can do F3 and T, and hopefully... Okay, it didn't change, but it's fine. Okay, so last time... Wow. Things have changed a lot since last time. Let's put it like that. Yeah, I've done a crap ton of work. So these ones are all broken. Don't worry about these. These are from Yeah, a couple of days ago. This is one of the working ones. So this is a full conveyor. It works. We have turns, we have ups, we have downs, and more turns and whatever, and that all goes in a loop. So that's lovely. This is a kind of basic conveyor system. We have another one over here as well, exactly the same. And then I just have a simple loop here as well because I think it looks cool. It's very mesmerizing. Then what I've been working on today is I've been working on a splitter. Now, this has actually been quite a lot of work. I've had to rewrite the entire system. So, by the way, guys, last time when we worked on this, I got Codex to do all of the placement logic, right? To basically get it to be similar-ish to Rails. It did okay, but it just couldn't quite, like, finish it off. So, and I couldn't figure it out either because its code was horrendous. So I have gone through and I've rewritten the entire conveyor system to be correct. So basically just get rid of all the codex stuff. I literally just wiped it and started writing it from scratch. So this is all my code, not Codex anymore. Codex has come through and it has done a couple things here and there. But for the most part, it is not. For the most part, it hasn't done anything. Now, this is what I've been working on today. So this is the splitter, and I had to rewrite it again for this because basically every conveyor was wired to have one input, one output, because of course that makes sense, right? But that doesn't take into account things that have two outputs, or what we're going to be talking about in this stream, which has two inputs. So I have rewired it. It now works, so I can just spam them at the moment. Obviously, there needs to be some more spacing there and whatever. But that just goes ahead and splits the items here into these chests. So that's lovely. Now, actually, I do need to post a video of said thing on the Discord. I don't need to do this right now, but I'm going to do it anyways. Let me quickly sort this out. I think it's here. Yeah, this one. It's going to take a second and then I can sort that out. So yeah, today we're going to be working on the merger. Hopefully that's going to be pretty much just the same as the splitter, but obviously opposite. Hopefully. And it is a very big hope. The splitter, I will say, is a little bit of a mess. But, you know, it is what it is. Okay, that's that. And then we'll quickly... do this 1 second, guys. Okay, lovely. That's done. Okay, so yeah, today we're going to be working on mergers. So this basically going to be having the opposite of this, right? So instead there would be, say, items coming from here, items coming from here, and those will come down here into one single channel. Currently, of course, they go outwards, but it's basically going to be they come inwards and go this way instead. As I say, hopefully not too hard, but we'll see. So it might require a little bit of work. Pardon me. Okay. So, how do we even start? Well, first of all, I'm going to commit the code I currently have, because I'm trying to kind of keep things as separated as possible throughout this whole process, so I don't, you know, end up getting all messy and whatnot. And so that I can clearly see what things are, and when, you know, and what they're for, really. So if I quickly commit this code, then we can move on to mergers. And as I say, it should hopefully be very, very, very similar. So I'm going to attempt even to just copy paste it. That might work, might not. We're going to find out. Okay, I'm actually going to push what I have right now. Okay, there we go. So, mergers, right. So, let's start by going into blocking it. I think that's the best starting point, at least. This is the client in it, though. We need the server in it. So, let's go in it, block in it. Okay, so Copilot hopefully will actually figure this out. It doesn't seem to, no. Nope, okay. So, maybe now it knows? Nice, okay. Lovely. So, let's go into conveyor. There you are. And let's go into block, let's go into import, let's take splitter conveyor block, and let's just rename to merger conveyor block. Okay. So, let's just start renaming some things. So this is going to be left input ID. This is going to be right input ID. We're going to have a facing. So most of this is going to be the same. Okay, that's all fine because that's not going to do anything special. Da, da, da. Select output. So we'll have to have a look at that in a second. That's the part that's going to be messy, I reckon. Let me... Okay, so this is just the placement method. So this is what happens when you place it down. So it just determines the state it needs. For this, that's just the horizontal direction, right? There isn't anything special there. That's going to be the exact same for us. So that's not going to change. On place, this just schedules the tick. So it places the conveyor in the network and then it schedules a tick. And in that tick, it then will figure out what state it needs to be. That's delayed by a tick so that just in case like neighbors need to do their things, that's kind of the benefit of doing that. Neighbor changed, basically the exact same thing there. Update shape, same thing there. Tick, this is actually just what resolves the state, so this is fine. Okay. Affect neighbors after removal, so that just removes the conveyor from the network. Rotate, mirror, fluid state, fairly simple stuff. You can see we're already almost at the bottom, so this shouldn't be too hard. Get network manager, get item limit, get speed is enabled. Those are all fine. Okay, so this is where things get different. So here we just basically want to swap these, right? So we'll have this as the output. And basically that should be it. So obviously I need to change these to conveyor input, change this to conveyor output, like that. Get rid of the pos parameter there, and add in the pos parameter there. I mean, that should basically realistically be it. Now here we have select input, which this is where things are going to get complicated, I think. So, well, kind of. No, this is actually going to be very simple. I think, in fact, if we go to super method, yeah, so this just gets the first output. So in actual fact, we can just get rid of that. Now, I don't think I have a select input method, unfortunately, which will be messy. Trying to figure out. I mean, maybe we don't have to do anything, because realistically, the conveyors are already going to try and merge into this storage, right? It's just the fact that it already has 2 inputs, so it just needs to accept those 2 inputs. In reality, I don't think we actually need to do anything. Because it already knows where it accepts. In theory, the network should already handle that. The only thing, I guess, to point out is that it needs to be fair, right? In a way. So it needs to be able to say, like, hey, like, let's go left, then right, left, then right. I don't know how we would do that. I think for now, let's try without doing that and just see what happens. And then go from there would be, I think that's probably a good starting point. Yeah, that's probably a good starting point, just to see if we actually have a merger, and then from there we'll figure out, okay, is there some logic we can add to this merger that means it will fairly merge from both sides, rather than just fully accepting a single side. I think the... So let's go into blocking it real quick. Let's do this. Okay, let's also do the data gen so that we actually can see things in the game, because otherwise that's going to be a big problem otherwise. So here we can go drop self, blocking it, dot merger. We're probably going to get a lot more done on the merger today, by the way, guys, which is going to be good. Hopefully, anyways. I don't want to guarantee anything, but... Oh, pardon me. This... Fanta's... Oh my god. Making me gassy. What I'm drinking, by the way, guys, is actually not Fanta. It is... It's called Orange. Kid you not. I don't know if it's going to show you guys or not. Yeah, it does. It's literally just called Orange. So... It is an off-brand, an off-brand Fanta, basically, because they're not selling fan to it anymore where my mum goes shopping, so I have to have some off-brand stuff. But honestly, like, it's fine. Initially I didn't like it, but I've got used to it, and now I actually quite like it, which is quite funny. So okay, that's that done. Then we have model. So model basically gonna be the exact same as the splitter. Now there is a problem with that, and that is that, like, so if we look at register splitter, what does that do? Yeah, so that has this whole, like, definition here. I think I can probably just copy this, paste it, go merger, go merger, like that. And then basically, like, do this as well. So merger. I think that's it, though. Like, that's kind of all it needs to be. So let's come in here. Let's go register merger conveyor, which does need to exist real quick. I've got to find my register methods. Here we go. Register merger. There we go. One thing we might as well do, by the way, is just inline these. Like, there's just no need to do anything special, because these are always just gonna be those. For the basic conveyor, I won't do that, because that might end up being different. But for the merger and splitter, that's fine. So might as well just do them like that. So that's that recipe as well. So I think conveyor, no. So I don't actually have the recipe for the merger and the splitter. I don't know. I see, recipes I'm really bad with. Like, I just don't know what to do for recipes. So I think as a recipe, this makes sense for the conveyor. It's just a matter of, like, what do we... Maybe it takes into conveyors and something. Let's try and kind of copy this if we can. So let's have splitter conveyor. And it's saying iron ingots, and that's basically saying don't do it like that. I think the splitter conveyor should take in a conveyor. So I do want to say 8, but I want to say, like, I want to say CCC, C, 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 CC, and then do C as conveyor. No, I want to do lock in it dot conveyor, and then in the middle I want to have something. So maybe just, like, I don't know, what's an item that represents splitting? The logical thing would be an axe, but that would make the recipe really annoying, right? Maybe quartz. I don't really know why, but that kind of just makes sense in my head. So hopefully there's a conventional item tags for quartz. I think there is. Quartz gems. Yeah, there you go. And then unlocked by... And then we can do quartz gems. And then we can do unlocked by conveyor, like that. Okay. And then we have to do the merger as well. Merger conveyor. And that's tried to do the exact same recipe. That's obviously not going to work. What's a good, like, merging? What's a good item for merging? Is there anything in the game? Maybe like slime, I feel like would be very expensive. It's got to be kind of on the same level as quartz, I suppose. On the same level as quartz. Maybe like, I don't really know why, once again. Maybe just lapis. Sure. Let's go with it. We can change it later. Anvil? I mean, that would be so incredibly expensive, though. I don't think that's feasible. You don't want to have an anvil every time you want to make some merger conveyors. Although it makes sense, like, logically. Well, maybe logically it doesn't make any sense, of course. But, in terms of, like... theoretically, I suppose, it makes sense, but... yeah, obviously that would be way too expensive. Lapis, I would say, is probably about the same kind of hard to getness as quartz, in a way. And obviously you have to have been to the Nether to get quartz, but I don't know. I mean, there's going to be things in Industria itself that are going to allow you to get quartz a lot easier than going to the Nether anyways. Likewise, I do have to remember that in these recipes, I can use things that are not in vanilla, right? Because it's a mod, right? So that is something to remember. That, like, that is a thing to note. Okay, I think that's the recipe. So let's run the data gen. Oh yeah, I probably should have mentioned. I have Copilot right now, just adding the renderer for us. So it basically is just adding the model for the anchor points, because I can't bother to go into Blockbench and do that. Which is why we're getting a bit of a compile error right here, which is fine. Alright, see, it hasn't actually made the model yet, hence it was erroring. But there you go, that's gone ahead and fixed itself now. Okay, lovely. Now we can try and run data gen again, and it should be fine this time. Yeah, there you go. So it's compiled now. Okay. Give it a second to run, of course. Okay, so that has run. I guess we can try and run the game now. I'm just going to check that Codex is done with the models. because you never know if it's randomly gonna decide, hey, I'm missing something. Yeah, it's going through and doing a couple things right now, so I'm just gonna give it a second. You guys can watch, I suppose. Not sure what it's doing. I think it's done. Is it done? Pardon me. My God. This stuff is making me so gassy. Much more than normal Fanta, I will say. Don't know if there's anything actually to that or not. Okay, sure, do that. Just get it done. You done now? It's got to be done now. I reckon it's done. Let's just run the game. It's actually probably going to try and compile, and then it sees it fails to compile. It's going to start complaining. But it's fine. Who cares, man? It is actually running something right now. What's it running? Oh, just get status. That's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's done. So let's move that back over here. Is it? It is. It's doing weird things right now. Okay, Minecraft, load please. Thank you. That was perfect timing. All right, so I don't know how well the model's gonna work that it's created. By the way, guys, what it's done for the splitter model is terrible. I don't know if it's going to have done any better here. It might even just be the exact same model. I don't know what it's done. So, I've got to find it. So that's the splitter. What about the merger, though? I don't see it. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. Oh, because they didn't actually make the model. I asked it to make the anchor model, not the actual model. That makes sense. Oh, hello. Now that's interesting. I've never seen this before. What does it do it? Huh? Okay, I'm gonna ask it to make. Can you make me the model for the merger? Okay, they don't want a task of doing that. So if I do this, I can at least see which way it's facing. So this, by the way, will be the way the output is facing, not the way the input is. So I think that means that the input should be this side and this side. And if I do this, yeah, you can see that is the case because it's automatically rotating itself to face that way. So you know that's an input, and the same will be true there. Yeah, okay. That's fine. And I assume if I do that, yeah, that automatically faces that way for the output. Okay, so there is a little bit of an issue with corners at the moment, which I need to figure out at some point. Oh, that crashed. Interesting. Not what I expected. I think it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so if we do this, In fact, you know what we can do? We can have a splitter here, right? And then send these ones off to come and merge in here. This might actually work really well. So, just gotta think how we want to do this. I think it needs to be like, oh, yeah, okay. There's something wrong with corners. I mean, I knew there was something wrong with corners, but I didn't know it was that bad. But that's interesting. Okay, so let's put in bread and let's put it here. Let's see what happens. So those should get split off, as one would expect, and hopefully they get merged in here. Here we go, guys. Fingers crossed. Hey, look at that. That is beautiful. And we can send some more. We can send them off on a mission. And then once these ones come through, we can send off some more. Lovely. This is beautiful. It's going to be a bit weird. Yeah, it's always going to be a bit weird here. I don't know if maybe it's overloading the... if it's reaching the limits here or not. Okay, so it says it's made the model for the merger. So I'm real quick going to see if that's true or not. Just build projects. Okay, and then all we need to do is F3 and T, and hopefully that should reload that model. Nice. Yeah, as I say, the model is not. It is just a mirrored version of this, I think, which is fine. That's what it will be eventually as well, of course. Well, not exactly mirrored. I'm gonna have something a little more special there, but that's fine. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. So, I mean, that works fine, right? So let's quickly, I'm going to do it. I don't know, I almost just tried to open OBS. Oh my god, I'm so stupid. Okay. I'm just going to do this, I guess. I want to record it. How can I do that? What's the best way to do this? Last time I used snipping tool and it kind of worked, so that's what I'm going to do real quick. Okay, so we're gonna go video, window. Okay, and then we select this one. Turn off audio. We don't want that audio. Let's mute the mic. Start. Look at how beautiful this is, guys. I love this. This is great. It's very satisfying, I will say. Okay, lovely. Lovely jubbly. So I'm just going to save that. Videos. Sure, that will do. Okay, why can I not close this window? Okay, I can't close that window, apparently. That's interesting. Okay, so that is done. I mean, that is the merger done. So, what that means is... well, I guess we can work on the next thing. Which I don't know what that is, because to be honest, I didn't plan to get that done so quickly. So let's quickly figure out what that is. Now we can do ladder conveyors, but that one's a bit scary to me, so I think we're going to leave that out for a second. And maybe come back to it. So We've got a straight turn. We could do the drop chute. Possibly. We could do the detector. So the drop chute, by the way, is really just in the name. So when the items go onto it, it will drop the items below. It will literally just drop them. That's the drop chute. And then the detector will detect when... I think it detects when a certain item is on there, if I remember correctly. So you can like filter by a specific item, and it will detect when that's on there. When it's on there, it will send a redstone signal. We also have the alternator, which, I'll be honest, don't remember what that one is for. See if I can find it real quick. Alternator. Can't find it. Alternator. Oh, right. So the alternator alternates directions of the conveyor. Like every however many ticks. Yes, of course. Then we have counting. So that basically will only... How does the counting... emits a redstone signal. Yes, it emits a redstone signal after a certain number of items pass that conveyor. Then we have priority. So that will like give priority to certain outputs. We have the magnetic conveyor, which brings nearby items onto the conveyor. We have side injectors, which will just like let items from a side inject like into that conveyor. And then we have more advanced ones. So we have ceiling conveyors, wall conveyors, delayed conveyors, which like have a delay before they send the items. We have mob conveyors, and we have ejector conveyors. So ejector conveyors would like shoot the items across to maybe another conveyor, whatever. So what's the best next one? The other one I actually think I forgot this one is the filter conveyor. So you could filter a route specifically to like not allow certain items. I think that would involve a little bit of a redesign. I think we'll keep away from that one for the minute. The other one we need is like a hatch conveyor. So that would like bring items in. I don't know that a hatch is really the right word. So we can call it intake, feeder. I'm just looking at what ChatGPT is saying, by the way. Intake or feeder, it reckons are the best ones. I would agree. Feeder conveyor or intake conveyor, guys? I like both. Let's go feeder conveyor, I think. Do you happen to know the fix problem when transparent parts of the leaves are drawn green and not black on fast graphics? My guess would be maybe your transparent pixels are actually not transparent. Would be my guess. Is that like they have like an ever so slight amount of alpha maybe, and so it's making them that full color rather than black, which is transparent. That's my guess. Other than that, I have no idea. If that's not the case, I have no idea. But that's my guess, because that kind of makes the most sense in my brain, at least. Okay, now that I've done the merger conveyor, I'm going to quickly go ahead and commit that as well. Let's just make sure I have actually done that, like, everywhere. Okay, that's fine. That's just the block class, that's fine. Fine. Okay, lovely. Okay, let's commit that. Okay, so now let's should be, yeah, there you go. Okay, so if we can now go into block init, let's create the feeder conveyor. So hopefully this won't be too hard as well, but we're gonna see. So feeder conveyor is going to be nice and simple as well. It's just going to have a single direction, right? So we're going to have a feeder conveyor block. Okay, and then we'll go into here, create a new class. I'm actually just going to copy. Oh, what do I want to copy here? Probably like the splitter, actually. Funny enough. It's very similar. We just need to make it only have one input, one output, right? So, like, dump that. Facing can stay. We just need to figure out what needs to stay, what needs to go, right? So, oh, select output is a thing. Oh no, that's fine, I think, actually. So select outputs we don't need. Right? And this one we also don't need. So this one can just be in, relative facing, pause. Oh no, that's out. My bad. Doesn't like that because of you. Sure, we can do that because it's a single line one. Get rid of those. Okay. Now that I think about it, we probably... No, we actually don't need to change those there. Okay, that's fine then. Okay. So is enabled. Yep, that's fine. Get speed, that's fine. Yeah, I think the rest is like fine, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. So now what we can do, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to Codex real quick. Can you add the feeder conveyor to the data gen? The model doesn't exist right now, but don't worry about that part. Just do all the rest of the data gen. Let's just make sure this is imported here as well. Otherwise that's not going to work. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I'm going to set Codex on that mission. And in the meantime, we can do the rest, right? So, what we need to do for the rest? That is a lovely question. What do we need to do for the rest? We need to do the anchor. So let's go ahead and do that first. So let's go conveyor anchor provider init. And it's basically going to just be a straight conveyor. So it's not going to be anything too special. This one, by the way, that can be underscore. That can be underscore. Codex probably didn't realize that could be an underscore, but that's fine. So we'll do block init dot feeder. We'll do underscore. And we will do that. And then we will do that. So default anchor route. Yeah, that's fine. Lovely. So that's just a straight conveyor. Nothing too special there. Okay. That's that one. Let me just see how Codex is getting along. Okay, it's still reading things. That's fine. So the next one then is the entity mod. Wait, do we need to do that one? No, we don't even need to do that one, actually. That might be it, actually. Yeah, because we don't need to register any models, right? We don't need to register any anchor models because we're just using the straight one. What we need to do is we need to make it an actual, like, we need to make it accept inputs, right? From storages. Now, unfortunately, that's kind of the hard part. Of course, needless to say, I suppose. So, by the way, okay, let's, can I run the game right now? Yeah, I think so. Let's quickly run the game before Codex tries to go making changes. Just to make sure that that's fine. Okay, I think I did that just in time. Yeah, just in time. It's just now we're starting to make changes. Okay. Okay, let's put redstone dust as the item in the recipe. I don't agree with that. So we'll have to come up with something better for that one. I'm not sure right now. Okay, so let's see what happens with a normal conveyor. I think nothing happens. I don't think it will take items out of an inventory, like at all. But I could be wrong. Yeah. Wait, that's facing the wrong way though. Yeah, it does not. right? So it doesn't take items out of the inventory. Now, the idea is that placing a feeder here will cause it to take items out of the inventory, right? That's kind of the plan. So how do we do that? It's not going to be easy. Or is it easy? Well, if we think about this, we need to go transfer types in it, and I suppose in here. So like right now, this is just splitter merger. Splitter conveyor, merger conveyor. What we need to do is we need to do a different one. Register for blocks. Yeah, register for blocks. We'll do level. Just put these in brackets or parentheses, I should say. Level, pause, and then we'll do the same as the last one. So underscore, underscore, underscore. Okay. And then we'll do block init dot feeder conveyor. So what this will do is it will not be this storage. Pardon me. Oh my god. So we'll need some kind of like delegate storage, right? So it'll have to be a storage that actually like accepts items. Because currently this one doesn't, right? So this just returns get item storage, which is this is storage, and this is a conveyor network storage. So then that gets the storage from here, which is a conveyor storage, which holds our actual storage here, which is a conveyor item container, which says that it cannot take items, right? So basically we need to make one that can take items. Now I really don't think that should be too hard. So I think what we need to do is we need to do this. Right, so this will get us the storage. And then we'll basically just return like some kind of wrapped storage, right? So if, let's do this first of all. If storage isn't null, just return. That's fine. And then we'll do a feeder conveyor storage wrapper. Yes, that's pretty much what I was looking for. So then I'll go conveyor. I'll create a new class. No, we'll go. Let's just go import there, I suppose. Okay, so this will just be. I'm just trying to think, how should this work though? Hello Wide, welcome to the stream. Hello Agent Cryo, welcome to the stream. Right now, Wide, we're working on the feeder conveyor, so that we can take items in from an inventory. So you can see here, for example, these conveyors don't do that, so we need to place a feeder here that will do that for us, basically. Let's close the game, actually, because we don't need that open right now. And I'm quickly going to run data gen so that Codex can not complain at me. Would be lovely. So okay, this is fine, I think. This just needs to be a storage. That's the only problem. This needs to implement that class, I believe, and implement methods. Let's just do all of them like that, and then do private final storage. Set the storage. Supports insertion is going to be true. Oh, that's true by default, apparently, though. Okay, that's fine then. So this will be storage.insert, which I think is fine. Supports extraction will be false. Extract will be... We'll just do that because we don't actually want to do anything. On empty iterator will be the same thing. Non-empty views. Storage.getVersion. Okay. So that's pretty much just like a delegate class, right? But the important thing here is that it will actually support being inserted into. So, I mean, we're calling storage.insert, but obviously that's not going to work. If we go into here, where the storage is actually created. Not in here, in here. So, it's just a container storage.of. Now, this returns... What? Trying to wrapper around a container. If the container is a worldly container, the direction is not another wrapper around the side of the container. Okay. Right, so what do you actually return? Container storage import.of, which returns container storage import. Okay. Okay. Get slots. Which is parts. Okay. I see. So then it does a slot wrapper. Which I assume... Yeah, so at that point you have the can inserts. Okay, I see. So, I think what we need to do... One second, I need to rerun that data gen, I think. I don't think it worked. I don't think this alone will work. I think we're going to face a problem here because storage.insert isn't going to work. So it's basically one of these, and you see that calls can insert. Which calls super.insert. And this is basically where all the logic happens. How can we do this then? Okay, you know what we could do? We could get the network. Because if we do get network at pos, right? From the network, we can then get an item storage, but more importantly, we can actually get that storage, and then we can get the actual conveyor storage at a level and position. The only problem is we don't really want to recreate that every single time this method is called. Okay, I'm going to delete this temporarily. I'm going to ask Codex, guys. Not sure the best approach to do this. Like, how on earth are we going to bypass that check? Because that's basically the problem. We have to be able to bypass that check that is inside of single stack storage. I don't know how we would do that. I'm asking Codex. Wait. I have an idea. I have an idea, chat. Wait, no, because I don't want to recreate it every tick. That's the problem, right? Yeah, that's the problem. Because I can easily write a wrapper for it, right? And basically it would wrap the actual container storage itself. So not even the storage we're using from the Fabric API. It would just wrap the internal like data structure, and then just directly add items to that, remove items from that, etc. But we would have to basically do that every tick. So the thing you've got to remember about this method is this is called every single time anything wants to try and like push to that block. So if you have like a chest next to that, for example, this method would be called every single tick. If you had 4 chests next to it, it would be called 4 times every single tick. I'm pretty sure. I think that's how it works. Maybe it doesn't actually. Maybe it caches it. I wonder. Don't suppose it says, does it? I don't think it would, because it takes in the level, the pause, the block state, the block entity, and the direction. It could cache it per direction. It wouldn't be able to do that per block entity though, because obviously a block entity instance is mutable, right? It could easily cache it per pause, state, and direction, but block entity you run into a problem. The other option, I guess, is that we store a map ourselves. I guess we could do that, couldn't we? The only problem with that is that we have to invalidate that map ourselves, and we have to clear it. We have to... Do we have to sync it? No, not really. I guess kind of. Kind of. Not really. Okay, here's what I've asked it, guys, if you want to have a look. Oh, I've used 75% of my weekly limit. That's great. That's fine. It resets on Wednesday, I think. And I also have I have all my Spark status left. So I have all of my weekly Spark status. Spark, by the way, is like this new codex thing. It basically does it instantly. I don't really know how it works, to be honest, but it's instant. So like it doesn't do all these shenanigans, like, you know, looking at it just does it. It's kind of cool, but I'm a little scared to use it. So I've been hesitating thus far. I think the best approach here that we're going to have is to cache it ourselves. And I think we're going to have to invalidate that cache ourselves. It's not going to be the end of the world. We can do it. Just a bit annoying. But I think that's what we're going to have to do, unfortunately. We'll see what it says. It may have a better idea, or it may have a better way to cache it than I would come up with, maybe. But that seems like the best solution as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, there's no automatic, this only runs once. Yeah. That's kind of what I expected. Oh, pardon me. My god. Really does make me gassy. So crazy. Okay. I don't know how far it's gonna look here. I mean, realistically, it wouldn't be that expensive. Like, how many feeders are you realistically gonna have? Not that many. How many blocks are you realistically gonna have next to those feeders? Probably just the one, right? So, if you think about it like that, and actually, now that I think about it, we could only even accept it from the side that makes sense, right? So, you know, if you had 4 chests next to a feeder, you would only accept it from the side it could take it from anyways. So I guess you wouldn't create that wrapper for the other sides anyways. So performance-wise, it might not really cost much at all. Main thing I change is the abstraction, not the algorithm. Here we go. Oh god, okay, it's wrote a lot. Okay. Let's see. Item storage init is currently starting from get storage, but that already gives you the generic storage view. That view is backed by container storage, and the fake container explicitly rejects placement. Yeah. I would try to not make that. I would not try to make that storage insertable. Interesting. For feeder conveyor, return a separate automation-facing wrapper storage that is insert capable. Whose insert logic does conveyor logic, not delegate. Okay, no, that's what I was thinking. So it would directly insert into the conveyor storage. It would just bypass the storage itself, which makes sense. Yeah. That wrapper should call the same domain logic the player path uses in there. Okay, check. Can accept incoming item, create conveyor item. Yeah. I know. Put that shared logic on the performance concern. Assume the lookup can be called often. You already code does that. And conveyor connection checks in. Would cache. So I would cache the wrapper exactly like predicate container storage. Does either cache it inside conveyor storage or use a weak map keyed by the underlying conveyor storage. Too important policy design. Okay. Could I cache it in the block class? As the keys of the cache would need to be the block position, right? Well, the block position and the direction, I guess. I guess the direction doesn't really matter, but... Well, yeah, the direction doesn't matter. That would just be stored in... It says you could, but I would not cache it in the block class. The block instance is effectively global, shared for the placed feeders. Block pos alone is not enough as a key. This in every dimension, so the minimum key really is level. That's true. I didn't think about that. If the result depends on lookup side, that part is the effective key too, unless you filter side. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Cleanup is awkward. Yeah, I would agree. Hello, Alex. Welcome to the stream. The better cache location is the object that already represents this feeder at this position, which in your code is the conveyor storage. That gives you a natural life cycle and avoids inventing another global map. Keep one cache generic storage view in conveyor storage as you already do. Add one cache feeder input wrapper there as well, if that conveyor is a feeder. And the item storage provider for feeders, validate the query side first. If the side is valid, return the cached feeder wrapper from that conveyor storage. Okay, I'm just going to tell it to make the cache for me, and then we'll go from there. Can you make the cache for me then? I assume it's just going to be a map cache, right? Not going to be anything special, I hope. That's all it should need. I personally, I would say I'm not a fan of putting it in the conveyor storage because ideally each of these are like separate, right? So they shouldn't have to rely on having their internal code be inside the network, but I suppose it's fine. Like it's fine. The only thing is I'm going to have other things in the future that are going to want to do this. And so I'm probably going to have to build some kind of abstraction around this later on. So once again, this might be a scenario where Codex writes it and I come back and rewrite it later. Because it's not going to be suitable for what I want eventually. For now, it will probably suffice. But it's not going to hold the test of time. So maybe it will, but I don't think it will. It's possible that the way it designs it is that it will already be some kind of like abstracted out class, maybe. Because if it's just a map of like position direction to a storage, like if it's as generic as that, then theoretically it can be reused. But if it is a map of pos direction to, you know, to friggin' feeder container storage or feeder conveyor storage or whatever, then that would be a problem. So let's see. I think it's done doing it. It's reading and searching and all that. Nope, never mind. I was wrong. It is not done. See, I do wonder, like, is it worth using AI for this? Because, to be honest, I feel like I could have done it already. Right? It's just a map, no? I guess the key of that map would be just like a record of like block pause and direction, right? I think. Unless I'm missing something. I could be missing something. Oh. Oh. Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't think about that. So, right. Okay. I was thinking that you would store it in the conveyor network storage as a map. But Codex has suggested that we store it as a field in the conveyor storage, which actually makes significantly more sense. I forgot that I could even do that, I can't lie. Now I assume this is such a big thing because it needs to like serialize it and stuff. Would I be correct in that assumption? Pending insert. Oh, so that's like snapshots. Okay. Commit inserts. Sure, that's fine. But it needs to update the like if I go conveyor storage, I'm pretty sure it needs to update this codec. Otherwise that's not going to work. Okay, let's see what it's done in here. Okay, so it gets the network, then it tries to get the storage. Okay, I'm not going to have that as a method. Let's do that. Then side is null, or if it's input side, then storage.get feeder item storage. Which just does that, or it creates it. Okay. Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But I am a little more inclined to abstract this regardless. I think it'll work, but... Oh, I guess it doesn't need to change the codec, does it? Because the items are still stored, right? It's just a wrapper, right? This is just a wrapper. So really what I would do, personally, is I would rename this to a wrapper storage. In fact, what I would do is I would have a list of wrapper storages. Or like a... No, I would have a map. I would have a map of a string to a storage of item variant. That way it can be a keyed map so that I could have like a different one for input, a different one for output, whatever. And those would be the wrappers. And then I would just use those. That's what I would do, personally. And that's probably what I'm going to do. Not right now, because I want to see if this works, at least. It should. It looks right to me. Everything here looks fine. I mean, should we test it, guys? I think we shall. Why not? Should work. Now, we're not going to have a model. We don't have a model for this yet. So we might need to go and create one of those in a minute. But we'll just do this for a second. This one, I actually kind of want to have a block entity. Which, actually, if we do that, that would be even easier, because then we don't need to store anything in the network. We just store, a reference to the network in the block entity, and then that way we can, it becomes so much easier to, like, invalidate it or anything. So actually, I wouldn't do anything in the network class. I would just have a block entity. Because having a block entity for a feeder, you know, that's fine. As long as there isn't a block entity for every conveyor, it doesn't really matter. But okay, let's see. So let's break that. Let's also F6 because I like to see my arrows. Then let's go feeder. And hopefully... I see a whole lack of nothing. I think it's facing the wrong way. Wait. Oh, that won't work. So, chests don't... Chests don't push to neighbors, do they? Chests are one of those weird ones because they don't actually follow Fabric's convention of storages only pushing. Because chests don't push. And in vanilla, you have hoppers that pull, right? So it's actually kind of the opposite of Fabric's system, which is an interesting thing. So that means the only way we can do this is to plonk a hopper below. Now, I don't like that, so I think... Yeah, I mean, we can do that, basically, and then that's fine. Just put another chest, like there. So I think, yeah, what we will do is we'll make it so the feeder actually can extract. Oh, it doesn't like that. What doesn't it like? Let's have a look. See if we can figure out what's going on here. Update snapshots transaction. Update snapshots transaction. Insert. 190? Okay, 190 is not insert. So it's insert that equals insert. Where the hell is that? Where does insert call insert? It doesn't. I'm just going to give this to Codex and see what it does with it. I'll give it this one, I think. Is this the right one? Yeah, I think so. I think we need to change the conveyor's hitbox. Yes, we do need to do that at some point. But not too important right this second. So we'll leave it for a moment. Probably get away with just getting rid of update snapshots, maybe. Okay, I see what it's done. I think. So it's made it so instead of it being null, so instead of like having null snapshots, it now just gives it like an empty snapshot basically, which is fine. I mean, that works too, I guess. Because it's the thing is, because it's trying to support snapshots, I wouldn't have probably even bothered to be honest, because I'm lazy. But yeah, I mean, that is technically the right way to do this. But okay, that's fine. I mean, if we're gonna make it pull, the thing is, if we're gonna make it pull, it actually needs to be a block entity anyways. So like it can't really pull without it being a block entity. I mean, we could make the network do that, but that's obviously not ideal. The network shouldn't be doing like block specific logic. That's not the point of the network. The point of the network is to do the logic for the whole network, not specific logic for specific parts of the network. That's the point where you need a block entity. So, I mean, this will be hopefully fine for hoppers. Like, this will get hoppers to work. Yeah, there you go. You can see that's working. But obviously, in the long run, not so ideal, right? You know, the fun thing here is we could operate again, right? So we could have... is that facing the right way? Doesn't seem to be facing anyway, does it? Oh, no, never mind. That's just because I don't have a... That's fine. If we do that, and then do normal conveyor... I don't think I can do... Can I do a left turn here? No. Can I? No. I can't. You can't left turn like that. Let's do that, and then... Ooh, I can't do that, because that's going to start facing that. Oh, but that's fine, actually. Oh, that's not going to work. Wait, that's fine, because I can add a merger. Wait, not like that. Oh, shit. Wait, that's not going to work. Oh, because I can't merge two corners. Right. How could I do that, then? If I pushed it back to here... So, like, if I did... this... and then did this... and then did that... got rid of this... got rid of that... Right, so I can make this just like a single conveyor up, right, like that, and then this can then go that way. Once again, corners are still broken, guys, but that's fine. So I can do that, and then basically join that down like that. Now this one will need to come around. Wait, how am I going to do that? Like that. So if I do that, that will then join back to here. And then what I could do is I could then bring it back round to here, right? With, I could basically bring it back round to here. So if I try and do this, I don't know if this is going to work. Oops, accidentally put a conveyor on the conveyor. Love that. Love that. Let's get rid of this one temporarily. Okay, apparently conveyors also don't drop items that are currently on the conveyors, which is good to know. Okay. Okay, keep going. We'll go one more. Like that. Okay. So hopefully, chat, if we put some bread in here... Oh, wait, no, because this one doesn't have a feeder. So we can't put bread in this one. Oh, right, that's not going to work then. Okay, right. In that case, we have to have a feeder here. Okay, this is fine. It's fine, chat. Fine. So we do that. Then we can have a conveyor there. Then we can put a hopper there. Then if we put... Nice. So now the bread will go down here. And it will eventually come all the way around to here. It will get split here. The feeder will take it down here. And then the feeder should take it down here. They get merged here. Go back into here. And it should loop. Let's see. Hello, Super Z. Welcome to the stream. Let's get rid of these arrows for a second. And also, guys, there shouldn't lag, like, at all. There shouldn't be any performance decrease from this because it's just ticking the network. So... Okay, there was a lag spike there, but I think that was just from the stream. I'm obviously going to lag a little bit more because I'm streaming, right? So nice. So you can see it's already coming out of this one. It's already going into the merger there. And once they start coming through here, if I place a hopper here, of course. Silly me. They should start merging. And everything should work. It should loop. Okay, let's take all of these stacks out so we don't have like a... we don't want to go crazy. Okay, so you can see they're already starting to get... yeah, so this is the problem we have with the merger, right? Because it's not fairly distributing them, it means it's only going to favor this one side, because obviously it checks this side first, right? So it's always going to favor that side unless there's space. So here we just need to take out some of the buffer and should kind of fix things, I imagine. Is there a way to... How can we unbrick the system right now? Just trying to think. If we do that... And maybe do that. We can let some through. Okay, and now the buffer's gone, we can do that and do that. So they are obviously going to naturally block up here because there's a stair after it, and it's or a vertical one. And the problem with vertical ones is they're slower. So it is naturally going to block up a little bit here. Now we can fix that. If we move this chest one back, we can make it straight here. But it's always going to block up there. Plus, as I say, it's a merge, right? So, you know, that's just how it's gonna work. That's, you know. And really, I think there's still like too many on the route, I think. Like if I do that again. Should be better, I think. One second, if I just clear those out for a second. There you go. That should basically fix it. It's because I put too many in initially, so it obviously just started to all break and fall apart. But I mean, this is pretty cool, right, guys? What do you guys think? Think it's cool? I'm gonna make the game a bit smaller again. I think it's pretty cool, but then I'm biased, so you know, who am I to say? But yeah. Hello, Igly. Welcome to the stream. Oh, pardon me. Oh. Okay. So, I mean, that's basically the feeder done, but I do want the feeder to actually take items out of the chest. I think having to have a hopper, I mean, it's fine. Like, it's not bad, and it works, right? But I think it would be nice if the feeder would actually just take the items out. So, yeah, I think let's do that and go from there. I mean, we're probably going to get a lot done today, I reckon. So after the feeder, by the way, guys, I think the next one we'll do will be the drop chute. So we'll... Yeah, I think that's the best way. I'm also thinking maybe rather than conveyors going directly into blocks, might be good to have like a... I'll probably call it like a hatch or a hutch, maybe, which basically is the opposite of a feeder, rather than conveyors being able to go directly into inventories, because it looks weird. It just doesn't really add up. Yeah, you can see the system's kind of balanced itself out now as well, which is nice. Yeah, okay. Let's do the feeder. Let's sort that out, and then we'll go from there. I kind of want to get Codex to try and make a model for the feeder, but I don't think it's going to be able to do it. Because I mean, I have like a model in my head that I can imagine it looking like. I just can't imagine Codex being able to do anything even remotely close to that. So I don't think I'm even going to bother, to be honest. That's just the kind of thing that AI is not good at. It's not good at like modeling. Well, just modeling generally. Like, it's just not good at that. Okay, let's go into conveyor. Let's go into block. Let's go into impl, and let's go into here and create a new package, which I'm going to call entity. So we're getting a bit long of a package here, but that's fine. Feeder conveyor block entity. So this will extend Industria block entity, I think. I've also spelt conveyor wrong. Wait, have I? Conveyor. Convey. No, I haven't. Never mind. I'm going crazy. Okay, good to know. So that will be this. Oh no, block ref. Right. So that will be block init dot feeder. Conveyor. It says I've spelt it wrong. Have I spelt it wrong, guys? Am I going crazy? I don't think I have. Conveyor. Is that not right? Oh, it's conveyor. Of course it is. Okay. Ignore that, guys. Let's go block entity type init dot feeder conveyor. It's weird because you don't say it like conveyor. You say conveyor, right? Throwing me off, man. So let's create a block entity type of a feeder conveyor block entity, feeder conveyor, like that. Nice. That takes in the pause and the state. Now I think this already ticks. No. Okay, so in that case we need to implement tickable block entity. Don't I have an implementation of this? Like something special? Syncable tickable block entity, that's it. Wait, does this not already implement that? Updatable. No, it doesn't. Interesting. Remove side effects. What is this? Okay. Okay, that's fine. So what do you need? Syncable storages and on tick. Okay, that's fine. It actually doesn't need to sync. No, it doesn't need to sync. At all, actually. Like, it just doesn't need to exist on the client. Like, the entire block entity doesn't need to exist on the client. I don't know if we can remove it from the client, though. I don't think you can have a block entity not on the client. I could be wrong. I'm actually not sure. implements. What's the block entity class? Is it entity block, or is that? Yeah, it is. I remember that from Forge days, because I always thought it was stupid. Okay, so I think it's just create. No, it's not. It's what is it? Provider? Something provider? No. What is it? Create? No. Entity? New block entity. Okay. What the hell? Okay, whatever. Yeah, see, this doesn't take in a level, so we can't, like, create that block entity conditionally. That's just not possible, unfortunately. Which is fine, but it you know, a bit annoying, I guess. Like, the client just doesn't need it, but I guess it has to have it, so. Feeder, conveyor, well, actually, it might, because I might switch to a block entity renderer later on. But we'll see. Not sure right now. We also need the ticking thing, which is get ticker. That's it. Return block. Where is it? Tickable block entity. Dot create ticker. World. Wait, why is that called world? Why is it called world? Is this not this is the Mojang method, no? Wait, why did it call it world? Oh, because it's from Industria block. Right. Wait, does that already implement? Oh, it does. Oh. Wait, of course it does. Oh my god. Yes. Okay. I can do block entity properties. I forgot about this. And then that takes in supplier of that. I think. Is that not right? I don't know why that's complaining, I can't lie. Oh, because of that. Okay. And then I can do, so that's the block entity factory. I can do the ticker. So I can just do should tick like that. Nice. Okay, that saves me some code. So that's always nice. Okay, on tick. I don't think that's right. Yeah, I don't think that was right. Where did on tick come from? Did I write that? Did I write that and completely forget I wrote it? Probably. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to grab the network. Now, I think rather than storing the network itself, we're better off storing the UID. And that way we can like serialize that, deserialize that, etc. I think that's the best way to do this. So let's do that. So we're going to have a UUID, network ID. And let's also have a feeder. Where is it? It's in conveyor storage dots. Where is it? Is that not where it is? This. Okay. Let's just take this and put it in here. just have a look at this again. So how does this work? Okay, so that takes those in like that. Yeah, that's fine. So we can do conveyor storage. Okay, so what we can do is we can initialize some things. Now, I don't know if I have like a load method. No, I don't seem to. Okay, kind of. Not quite. We don't want this though. So this.network ID is equal null. Then network. So we can just kind of inline this. Okay, so that gets the network manager, which we'll just call manager. Then we get the network, which is at the world position. Then we need to get the ID. Okay, then what we can do after we set the ID is if this .conveyor storage is equal null and this network ID is not null, then we can go ahead and create that. Yeah, so we get the network. We do network.getStorage, so that gets the conveyor network storage. If that's not null, then we set this equal to a new... I've done conveyor storage there. That's not what I want. I wanted a feeder item storage. That equal to a new feeder item storage. Now this takes in... It's not level storage. So that needs to be storage dot... Oh, that's the network storage. Network storage. Then what we need to do is get the conveyor storage. Get storage at this.level. Okay, so then we do this. And then we do conveyor storage dot get item storage. Which, by the way, wait, let me just check that's right. Yeah, that's just not necessary then, is it? Because we can just do conveyor storage dot get item storage, right? No need for any special shenanigans there. No, just go with that parameter. There we go. Okay, so that's set. So then here is where we can do our pulling. To do pulling. Okay. Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to have a public storage. So we're going to want to store some kind of storage as well. So let's have a private storage of item variant, item storage, public return this to item storage. There you go. Okay. I think we want to take in a direction though. say if direction is equal to get block state. So conveyor like dot facing doesn't exist, but feeder conveyor block dot facing does exist. Then we can do. Oh, this is already a storage. Oh, lovely. Oh, I didn't realize that. But what? Intelligent? What are you doing? Okay, it keeps being weird. And then we can return null, like that. And that just means that it won't return that storage if it's not the right side. Which is fine. Okay. Is pulling the next thing? No, I suppose what we want to do next, kind of most importantly, we want to first of all fix this. So we just don't care about having that in here. Okay, then we want to go into the item storage inlet. Yeah, okay. So here, so we're gonna get the block entity. We actually don't care about the state or the pause this time, or the level. No, we want the level, I think. And block entity is instance of feeder. Then return feeder dot get item storage side, like that. Nice. I think. Seems about right, doesn't it? I would say so. Okay, lovely. So next thing is pulling then. Okay. So we only want to pull from the opposite of the facing, right? So direction, pull direction is facing.get opposite. Let's actually have a public direction get pull direction, and say get pull direction, and if direction is equal to get pull direction, we don't care about that. Because if it's null, then it will just return null, which is fine, right? Okay, so then we have the pull direction. We want to... Do we care about the state? I don't think we even care about the state. We want to get a storage of item variant, which will be the storage to pull from. If I could type. Would be lovely. Would be equal to transfer type dot item dot dot lookup, which will be this dot level, the pause, and then that. Okay, if that is not equal null, then we're going to try and extract. Now that's done. So that can't be blank. Okay. Is that not right? Open outer. Yeah, that just returns a transaction. Okay, so then we need to know what we actually need to pull, right? So I don't know what I'm doing. The thing is we can't extract a blank resource. Let's just do actually and storage to pull from dot supports extraction. Otherwise, this isn't going to work, right? So the Java docs here say, or said, I think, may not be blank. So best way to do that, probably iterator, right? Just iterate over the items and find one, right? So item variant to pull, and then just go storage to pull from dot iterator. We can do non-empty iterator, I suppose. Dot. Let's just do a while loop. While it has next. Let's just make this a variable as well. So we'll say storage iterator. No, just storage. Okay. And then, okay, that's not what I wanted to do, by the way. I wanted to do while it has next. If it's blank, continue. Or view dot get amount is less than or equal to 0. Then we set the variant like that. And if that's not null, we try and extract it. If extracted is greater than 0, we commit. That is it. Well, kind of. So once we've extracted it, we need to put it into our storage, right? So we do transaction.commit. We then need to do, let's create an item stack. Like that. And we can get the manager. Manage not null. We can add. No, we have to actually get the storage. Add items. This.level. This.world position. We can actually just directly add the stack even, so we don't need that. Sync network takes what? So that takes the level, which needs to be a server level. But that's fine because we can just cast that. And then do that. And I think that is it. Let's extract this as a method. Find item variant. And then let's also extract this. Add item to storage. And then I'm also going to extract this as a method as well. And I'm just going to call this pull items. Okay. Let's call this as well, which will be find network Or, let's just call it initialize. Or, no, let's call it try initialize. There we go. I think that's a lot cleaner as well. I'm pretty happy with that. Keep that up. Oh, we also do need to set the network to be dirty as well. So we can do .var, which is the networks, and then do networks set dirty, like that. I don't think sync network does that. Oh, it does. Okay, that's lovely then. Even better. I actually will leave that as 2 separate variables. It's just a bit easier to read, isn't it? And then, question, when I do that down here then, so I just do sync network. So I don't need to call set dirty then. So that's nice. Let's just call this manager. And let's call this networks. Just to clean things up a little bit. Conveyor item. We can just add item. Wait. Is that not interesting? Wait, can I not just do network.add item? Oh no, because I have to get the storage, right? Wait, what did this do before? Oh, that adds it to the conveyor storage. I see. Okay, that's fine then. And then it gets that. Yeah, that's fine. That's just delegating. That's fine. I think, chat, we are done. Let's test it, I suppose. It should work, I think. Unless I've messed something up. Let's see. Okay. Conveyors, here we go. So we're obviously not going to see anything instantly, but that's fine because we can actually just yeet that. Okay, and hopefully the theory would be that we can place a feeder and a conveyor. Okay, it did it for one item. Interesting. Is it facing the wrong way? No. They're going into the feeder, though. What is happening? Okay, that was weird. I don't know what happened there. It could just be that the network needed invalidating since I changed it. Possibly. That's my best guess. Also, where have the items gone? Wait, where's all the freaking bread gone? Okay. Let's add a bunch of bread, shall we? Just fill up the network a bit. Okay, that's probably enough. That's probably actually way too much. It's fine. Okay, and then let's get rid of this as well. Let's try and feed a conveyor. Yeah, I think the network just needed revalidating. That's fine. Not a problemo. And the benefit of that is that it means we can actually get rid of this all down here. Right? So, all that was down here previously, we can fill all of that in. Like that. And we can now add a conveyor. So we can add a merger here. Okay, and then we can add a feeder here, right? So then we add a conveyor there. Okay, all the items are gone again. Did they all fall off, or have they deleted themselves somehow? I think they must have all fallen off. I see. No, I see. I see what it's doing. So what it's doing is it's trying to just insert them all. It's not checking if that storage it's inserting to is full. Right. Okay. Okay. So we need to say and this dot conveyor storage is full. How do we do that? Private void or private, let's do private boolean is full. Conveyor storage dot iterator dot has next. I think we're gonna need to fetch the network to be able to do that. I'm trying to think. Is there a way we can do that without fetching the network? Yes, actually, because the feeder item storage has the conveyor storage. Also, we can delete this, by the way. And so I think this has an is full method. Yes, it does. Fantastic. So, therefore, what we can do is, as long as we instead... Yeah, we already do that. Okay. So that's fine then. So all we need to do is say this dot conveyor storage dot conveyor storage, which is weird, dot is full. And then we can say and not is full. And if we build that, yeah, you can see it's already wiped them all again because they basically just delete each other. But I think this should therefore fix that. So, I mean, we can honestly just kind of like put all these items in here, right? No, something's still wrong. I'm gonna reload into the world because it's possible that just like didn't work. And it's not full. You know what we can do actually? We can say if is full, return. So it just doesn't even try, hopefully. And that should fix it. Oh, wait. One thing we do need to do is we need to save and load the network. So we need to do save additional, which I think we can add a UID here. No, we have to do, how do you do it? Store. Okay. So we store the name, then we store, where is it? Is it in game profile or something? It's somewhere weird like that. No, it's in auth.lib? Auth. UID. UID util. Oh. Oh, I was thinking of the auth.lib codec that's inside of that. Yeah. So just UID util.codec. Okay, then we want to do load and do that. That reads it. Okay. Or else no. Okay, that should work. That should be all it needs to do. And then that should fix all of our problems. Hopefully. We're about to find out, of course. Maybe. Taking a hot minute. As it usually does, to be fair. I always say this. It does usually take a hot minute. But gone are the days of waiting, 10 minutes for it to load, so consider that a win. Okay, so let's try and put some shenanigans in here then. We may need to... No, we shouldn't need to revalidate the networks. We shouldn't. I'm actually pretty sure we shouldn't. Okay, let's put one in... I think this is the best one to start it. That does look like 64, doesn't it? I mean, let's see what happens. Let's split it up. Okay. I'm going to temporarily remove that feeder and just see if we get 64 back in this chest. That's what we need to find out, right? I think we will. Interesting. Very interesting. Very interesting, I will say. Let's remove these feeders temporarily. And then let's breakpoint this method. Right. And then I'm going to place a feeder here, and we're just going to see at what point it says it's full, right? Oh. Interesting. Yeah, that's a good point. Not the problem, but it's a good point. That is true. So if this .network ID is not equal null, then we're gonna do that. Okay. I think this is going to be the best way to test this. Okay. If this doesn't work, well, yeah. I mean, we should be able to figure out if this works or not from this, but it is going to be a bit of a pain to debug, I think. Oh, I know what's happening. It's because it's not that it's full, it's that it can't accept the item, right? So it needs to be extracted is greater than 0 and this dot conveyor storage dots can accept let's do item stack extract stack like that, and then see if it can accept that, and then we'll make this a method, right? So we can get rid of that, and then we'll just add it there, but only if it can accept it. So we'll have to do boolean can accept, and this will be the stack, and then we see if it can accept an incoming item, basically. And eventually I will also have this method, but for now this is fine. Oh, actually in that case we don't even need that. That's silly. In that case we can just do stop conveyor storage dot. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's fine then. Can accept item. Okay, so then if I come into the method we're looking for, which is let's just do it here, or sort of conveyor storage is null, or cannot accept item. Right? Let's just do. Can I do this dot conveyor storage dot? No. Let's do that in here then. Well, I guess we don't even need to do that, right? Because can accept incoming item will already check that. By using the minimum spacing. So actually, we don't even need this at all. We can just do, if it's null, or it cannot accept the item, then we return. So then we don't even need that here. And this can just move down there. Like that. So now if we go ahead and hot swap. Okay. So now, if we place down our feeder, it won't just spam them all in. It's only going to do it at a rate that it can accept them, right? So if we do a feeder there, does anyone remember what we're at? It's 52, I think. But let's just put another stack in. Doesn't really matter. There you go. Just put a random amount in that like would roughly add up to what we want. And eventually this will sort itself out so that it balances out, right? Nice, bro. This is good. Yeah, we don't seem to be losing any now. So that's good. So, I mean, the next major thing we need to do is have splitting be a bit better, right? So that splitting is more fair. It fairly splits the items rather than, you know, unfairly splitting them. So yeah, that's pretty good. I think, honestly, I mean, probably it for this stream. I don't know there's much else we can do with the time we have left. I don't know how easy it is to add fair merging. Okay, I've asked Codex how hard it will be. And then based on what it says, we will decide whether we continue or not. I am unsure. Where's what texture being used? What do you mean? Okay, I think it's kind of starting to spread them. Well, actually, it's not really, is it? Okay. Well, you know, I mean, what we can do... See, this is the good thing that the stairs were good for, because it did actually, like, very fairly, kind of split them up a bit, but it's okay. Yeah, see, this is basically the problem. Okay. Codex reckons it's not that hard to do. Just the system I have right now isn't designed for it, which I would agree. Because the problem is currently, basically the logic that handles this you know, input into different ports is handled in the network itself. So it doesn't know that like a merger exists. It just knows this is a block with 2 inputs. But like it doesn't know about the merger specifically, which I think is the problem. Also, this network's much better now. This is, yeah, this is good. Okay. So yeah, that presents a little bit of a problem because, yeah, it basically means there isn't an easy way to make merging what we want it to be. But because I do already store like a routing state, so if I come in here real quick, I have a conveyor routing state, which is used for round robin. I could probably reuse this to define like a merge algorithm or something, right? Like a I don't know, like a int int get current merge turn, right? And it would take in, I don't know, something like that, and it would figure that out. That's basically what I would need to do, I think. Which it wouldn't be too hard, but it's also probably a little bit of a pain. The other thing is we don't want it to just like alternate sides, because that means like if one side was blocked up, right? Yeah, this one, right? Wait. Oh no, that would be in the case of splitting, I suppose. I mean, splitting also has that problem. That, like, if one side is blocked up, I think the entire thing will stop. Not sure, actually. It's kind of very hard to test. Because this chest would have to be full for that to be possible. So yeah, that's basically... Okay. But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and end the stream here. Because we're not going to get that done today. And I don't want to start something halfway through the stream. Well, I say halfway through. At the end of the stream. I just don't want to start something new. So yeah. Next time we stream, which will be... I don't know if it's next Saturday or next Sunday. Don't remember when I scheduled the railroad one for... Don't know, actually. It'll be next weekend. Anyways, there might be one this week, actually. Might be a stream on Wednesday if you guys are lucky. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this one here, and I will see you all in the next stream. Goodbye.